Hey, my Legion, how y'all doing today? I thought I would do I saw this Saturday night on CNN at 9 o'clock, another production from CNN Films. And from CNN Films, I remember seeing Blackfish a long time ago that was very controversial. Well, they exposed, SeaWorld and Marineland. And I had loved going to SeaWorld, and that really shed a light on the place. And also, Life Itself, that movie about Roger Ebert. I saw that on Netflix. I reviewed it too. This one is, of course, about Gilda Radner and the life and times of Gilda Radner from her childhood up until her unfortunate passing. And it's really a good movie, and it's sad too. And she was a very sweet, and she had great sense of humor, and her humor for the most part was very innocent. And in the show it talks about her growing up, and there's sad parts in there, and then like going through shows like Second City, and then like National Lampoon, and then Lorne Michaels picking them up, like the cast of Bill Murray and Dan Aykroyd and all of them. And she went out with most of the guys. She went out with Martin Short. She was talking about who was talking about that, and also they had her notes. She had like a notebook, and some other comedians from Saturday Night Live and Melissa McCarthy were reading her notes during the movie, pretty much towards the beginning and then someone in the middle. And then you see the only problem I have with the movie, sometimes they show her handwriting, sometimes I couldn't read her cursive, you know, and it talks about her getting in Saturday Night Live, and she said she couldn't see the movie Ghostbusters because she dated all the guys there except for one of them. I can't remember, maybe Ernie Hudson. But I mean, it was a really fascinating movie. And then after that, she talks about after Saturday Night Live was over with, she talked about having eating disorder. And then after that, she talks about her movies, and she found out about Gene Wilder from the movie Hanky Panky, and they only showed the movie just a little bit. And they talk about her one woman Broadway show that happened during Saturday Night Live. She did that. I didn't. I remember seeing the movie Gilda Live that Mike Nichols directed, and that was tough finding that movie. It was tough finding a movie along with Hanky Panky, the Gene Wilder movie. And I didn't. The one thing I didn't know was the Broadway production. And I remember renting. I found Gilda Live at the library. I really liked it. I thought it was pretty unfair that they gave it an R rating because most of the humor is very innocent and genuine. They had the song "Talk Dirty to Animals." They had the F word once, but I mean, I don't think it was that bad. You know what I mean? I mean, it's a little too racy for the censors, but on Saturday Night Live, but that's about it. And they said that she said she was the first one to say "bitch" on TV, and they said they let it go because she was played that old lady because the censor said, well, that's from a sweet old lady, so they let it go. And talks about that, and then on the set of Hanky Panky, that's where she met Gene Wilder, and they eventually end up marrying. And like I said, I had a hell of a time finding both Gilda Live and Hanky Panky. In Fort Bragg, at the library, they had Gilda Live because I couldn't find it anywhere, and I rented it. And I really liked the movie. With Hanky Panky, when I went home for a few days, uh, when I was in Fort Detrick, Maryland, and on Encore, they had a couple of movies I've always wanted to see, but I had a heck of a time finding it. And they had that one on there, and also they had that Duchess and the Dirtwater Fox. That's that Western comedy with Goldie Hawn and George Siegel, which I really liked that movie. That's another movie that flopped. Hanky Panky flopped too, but I liked both those movies. Yeah, it talks about how Gene Wilder helped her out and he supported her a lot. And then they were in the movie Woman in Red, which I remember renting that one. And then Haunted Honeymoon. They talk about that. They only mention Woman in Red for like about 20 seconds. They show like a 20-second clip of that. Haunted Honeymoon. I remember they mentioning that, and they were saying how harsh the critics were to that. I like Haunted Honeymoon too. I like Woman in Red as well. I thought they were both really funny. And I know my nephew later on when they had Movieplex, they had Haunted Honeymoon on. My nephew was real little, and wasn't that big in the horror. He got scared easily and stuff like that. I said, this is an okay movie, AJ. You can watch it. You know, it's like a horror comedy, you know, and it was all right. He thought it was pretty good. And then after that, it talked about her not feeling well, and then her having cancer, sadly. And it talks about it all the way up to when she passed. And she went on a Gary Shandling show, and they made jokes about her illness. And they said that was the first time they ever really joked around about a subject like that. And Gene Wilder started that thing, Club Gilda, which is for families who are going through cancer and stuff like that. All these different places that helps families out and stuff like that. That was one of her things she wanted to do. And they're talking about all the way until she passed. I mean, it's really good, but it's sweet, but it's also sad too. I really liked it. I want to put a review of this and also Aggretsuko, Wish You a Metal Christmas, because it's kind of like both are females and in comedy and stuff. Now, the one thing, when I was renting movies, when I went in Germany, I had a resurgence of my like for the original Saturday Night Live from 75 to 1980, because I know this one person had a whole bunch of VHS tapes of old Saturday Night Live. I remember borrowing them and renting them and giving it back to her. And at the time, they had Nick at Night, and Nick at Night had like a half-hour Saturday Night Live show on just a classic lineup of people. And I remember renting the best of and certain people from Saturday Night Live. And the first one was John Belushi, and the other one, Gilda Radner. Gilda Radner had one. I don't remember any other females on Saturday Night Live having a best of tape. Not that I've seen. I know Will Ferrell had one, but that was way, way, way later. I remember, I know it was John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd. I didn't get the Dan Aykroyd one. I remember buying a used copy of it when I got out of the Army. And then Gilda Radner had it one. And they're all through Warner Brothers, I'm pretty sure. Can't remember if anyone else had. And then I know Paramount released Best of Eddie Murphy when I was in Germany. I remember saying that. And then when I was at the library, Carl Lorimar video released Best of Chevy Chase. I get that one too. Those are the only ones I've ever seen of those. I'm sure there are other ones out there. And I give the Love Gilda movie a 10 out of 10. It's really good and fascinating. You know, if you're a fan of Gilda Radner, I think you'll really enjoy it. And next is Aggretsuko, We Wish You a Metal Christmas. And they set an ad on Netflix early in December saying like the second season's not ready yet, but we can give you a Christmas special. You know, it's an anime. I reviewed season 1. And I forgot all about it. And then I saw there was a little ad for it. I went on, I think it came out way before, a week or so before Christmas. I forgot about it. I watched it, and it was all right. Teens talking about her having Instagram account and how, you know, she's talking, this one girl showed her how to take these really good photos. She's at work. She said everyone else is like on a date Christmas Eve. And her one boss pretends he's Santa Claus and gives her more paperwork. Said, said, Merry Christmas, due tonight. And then she goes into the whole metal tirade for the character, which I always liked that part. And then she ends up going and she goes to this one bar. And there was other stuff that happened. I don't want to give anything away, but it was all right. It wasn't the greatest thing. It wasn't as metal as I would have wanted it to be. So I said, we wish you a metal Christmas, but it was only a little metal. And it was okay. It was okay to watch. I give that 7 out of 10. So I hope you like this review of Love Gilda, and also what was the other one? Oh, the Aggretsuko, Wish You a Metal Christmas. So until next time, bye, please. Kim Leach.